I had a guy send a message that said he was suicidal, and he was just like, I randomly heard one of your songs, and he was like, it helped me through it. And it's like, if that happens with people, I didn't mean for that to happen, but right on.
Hi, you're watching DIFFUS, and today I'm here with Ille and Evan from Ghostwoman. Hi, welcome, and nice to have you here.
Nice to see you.
Nice to be here.
You're in Berlin today for a show. You're playing a gig at Refuge. Is that going to be your first show with songs from your new album?
I guess so. It's like a proper 45-minute thing.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes.
We will be doing some songs that we have never played live. So pray to the Lord that it's gonna be okay. No, it's gonna be fine.
How's it feel? Are you nervous, or is it more like excited?
Hungover mainly. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. It's fun to finally play songs that are so old to us already. So it's like, yay, we can finally start playing them. So yeah, I'm excited.
So you have a new album out, Welcome to the Civilized World. Congrats to that. I have to say the title, it feels fairly cynical, I would say, in today's age. Was that something that was your intention, or what were your thoughts behind that? Maybe.
I think it's funny that just by saying, you know, welcome to the civilized world, that like people think that it's like, wait a second. Which is maybe why we did it, because anytime you can get someone to, you know, use their brain, I think that's a good thing to do, so.
Yeah. It's mainly meant like, sort of like sarcastic, as in like, it's not very super nice outside, and it's more like, maybe almost like nihilistic or something. Sometimes
you put some words together and they sound nice together, like, you know, a cellar door or something.
Yeah, but would you define the vibe of the album like that as well, like a bit sarcastic or nihilistic?
No, the vibe of the album isn't sarcastic. It's very
serious.
It's pretty heavy duty, content-wise anyways, but how far do you want to go into that?
Very far.
Okay.
Give me all you got.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the songs are about, or a lot of them are about losing friends in various ways, and you know, dealing with that, and you know, kind of viewing things from their perspective, you know, people's perspective of giving up on life, you know, or the world. It's just an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah.
Some people give up. But yeah, so it was just kind of an interesting avenue to write from, or not avenue, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Perspective, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about life. Like, it's not about one topic specifically or so. It's just about like day in, day out, just, you know, waking up, living life, having highs and lows and everything in between. I think that's really...
It's like a circus, you know, you get the people up high and the people on the ground and the elephants.
That's what it's
and
about.
And the clowns, a lot of clowns at the circus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly clowns.
This is, I think, the longest time you've ever taken between two records. I think it's been 2 years since your previous album, almost 2 years since your previous album came out. Was it a conscious decision to take more time, and has your way of working and writing changed in that period? The
first two albums were like already made when we released them. I made them a long time ago. So when we released them, we had like 2 albums ready to go. So that's why they were released so fast, because they were just done and in the past. But yeah, I think this like a 2-year gap was just the normal amount of time. And like now we're dealing with real time now. So
yeah, and also we toured a lot in between. And I think when you come home from a tour, you don't necessarily want to write a new song. You just want to like have a break.
It just kind of happened when it happened.
Yeah, totally. But maybe next time it will be 5 years, maybe 5 months, we'll see.
But you do everything pretty much yourself, right? You record yourself, you're basically your own producers as well, right?
On this one we did, yeah.
Yeah, I think the only record that was not produced ourselves or recorded was the third one, Hindsight is 50-50. We recorded that one in a really nice studio, Kerouac's in France. But it was not like a made decision or so, but it felt more natural to just do it ourselves again. And that's why we had the ability to like record in various places and over a longer time period. So there's less like of a rush or so.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah.
And then life happens, and then you're like, okay, it's music time, you know?
Yeah, and it's like when you do it yourself, you can like work literally 12 hours in a row, and no one's gonna have a schedule or so. Or the other way around, you can have like a 3-month break, and no one's gonna say anything. So it's nice to do it by yourself, I think. But we'll see. Maybe for the next one, we'll go to a studio again.
I was thinking it'd be fun to record the next album like on an iPhone, or just on like the voice message, you know? Because it sounds really good. Like if you take, you know, if you play music through it or something, or, you know, it sounds great. It's just like Apple's compression system or something. Anyways, that's nerd talk, but, but I think that's a good idea. And I think that's the next album.
Not driving to 10 houses all over Europe to get an amp, a guitar, a cymbal, a recording thing. Just like, bloop.
Do you think it would change your music if there was like an outside opinion, like a third or fourth person that would have input, like a producer or so? Or do you think you're pretty self-contained that way?
Probably, or if there was someone else who had an opinion on something, but maybe it would help certain things, but it's also fun to just throw stuff at the wall.
Maybe one day we do it. There's many bands who never had a producer and do it with on the like 5th record or so.
It would have to be like Butch Vig or...
someone that we really admire. But yeah, it's like when you're a duo, you only have each other's opinions, and it's like a blessing and a curse. It's like, it's really easy, but it's also like, sometimes you get really zoned in on one thing, and then sometimes it might probably be nice to have a third person. We just ask our friends, but yeah, that's the only opinion that we have.
If the dogs like it, then it's probably okay. You know?
Yeah.
If they can handle it, then it'll be
Music
good.
for dogs.
Yeah.
If they're happy.
That's the name of the next record, Music for Dogs.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, credit me.
Said and done. iPhone.
Music for dogs.
We're probably gonna do it. It's not a joke, actually.
The way I understand it, you work very intuitively, as in there's not a lot of like planning or conceptualizing, right?
As you can tell, what we just decided, yeah.
And to me, that feels like you need to let go of certain like ideas of perfection or just being in control the entire time, right? How does that make you feel? Is that hard? Is that something you had to learn?
I learned it from Evan. I had a hard time at the beginning with it. I was like, no, it has to be on the beat and everything has to sound perfect. And he was just like, just let it go.
It's really important to not give a shit.
I mean, you have to give a shit, but not too many shits, if that makes sense.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. It always starts out as like stream of consciousness stuff, but then the final stages are always like, yeah, there's a certain sort of element of like, it has to be perfect. But then you kind of just have to let it go at some point. But it always starts out super free.
Yeah, because when you play live, I mean, it's also never perfect.
I mean, that's the joy of music too, like the happy accidents that happen, or maybe you know something happens you don't mean to happen, but it can be very exciting if you're open to it happening. Yeah. I view a song as like you have 3 minutes to kind of like color time. It's like you have 3 minutes and you can do whatever you want with it, paint whatever colors you want, and just make sure at the end of 3 minutes it's all wrapped up in a nice package, and then.
Don't ever set a thing that you want to do, like we want to sound like this or that. Just let it flow. I think that's the best, for us at least.
And don't do drugs. They're it's just not good. It's
true.
It's not cool anymore.
There's also this sense of impermanence or ephemerality about this when you're very intuitive, you know, that you can't plan a perfect moment, you can't recreate a perfect moment because it's like it's there in the next minute, it's gone. And as you said, there might be like happy accidents coming through that, but do you also have moments in the studio while writing, while recording, where you're like, damn, we had it once and it's not coming back?
No. Because we usually use like the first take.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Sometimes we try to redo it. Like there's one song on the record, it's called Alive, and we tried to like record it in the last, in a place that we rented. But we just couldn't do it. It was like not the same anymore, so we used the first take that we did. That's
the interesting side of life. It's like if you take, the photos on an old camera that's not digital, it's like you've snapshot something.
That's it.
And that's the moment. You've kind of locked it, and when you look at it again, you're like, I remember that. Or if you go see a show, it's like that's what happens at that show.
Yeah.
and it'll never happen again like that, and that's cool.
Looking back at your like older records, do you also see those records as kind of snapshots of that time?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like looking through an old photo album of like, you know, family photos or something.
Yeah, because you can keep overthinking it and overthinking it and overdoing it and overdoing it, and or like think 1 year over one riff or one drum fill. And maybe it works for some bands, and there's definitely bands that do that, and that's great, but it's not Ghostwoman, I think. If we would start doing that, it
wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, and it would not be our thing either.
And another aspect of like letting things go, I think I read in your press release, is how you use like instrument and gear, that you like buy old stuff and you kind of get what you need out of it, and you sell it again, right?
We're just addicted. That's the main thing, to Facebook Marketplace and Reverb.
I had a bunch of gear on the first record that I wish I still had, but it all got stolen. So now I'm constantly trying to find that sound again, and slowly I'm finding things, but it's fun to try new things, or like use a new medium of some, or like a new paintbrush or something.
Yeah, because it makes you play different too. If you play on the same instrument for, I don't know, 30 years, you might, you know, easily play the same stuff again. Whereas if you have new gear, you're gonna play differently. When you have a different guitar, you hold it in a different way. When you have a different drum kit, you play different, and it makes you write new stuff.
But it's very different from, I guess, what most professional musicians say, where they're like, oh, I need this and that pedal, or I need that guitar because that defines my sound.
Right.
Do you think that having a certain equipment, certain gear, is really defining to what you put out, and also like necessary to create something good?
No, I mean, like, I think instruments play a big part in how something sounds, or like relying on an effect has a certain sound, but it's like, it's all in the flesh. It's like, I don't know, if you look at, you know, like the Fender Stratocaster, it's like so many people use that exact same guitar, but they don't all sound the same. But, you know, they're the same guitar. So it's like, I think it's how you play them. But if you get a good instrument or a good piece of gear, or a nice snare drum, it can be a lot of fun, and you can hear things in a new way.
And the musical instruments that we like the most, we keep them. We don't sell them.
Yeah, we have a stockpile.
We have a little stockpile that we will never sell. So
you think that's also a sense of like nostalgia in there, like having older instruments that have this history, not just how they sound, but also like this feeling of having something with history?
Well, like I think older stuff was made better. I mean, it's still around, like whether it be vehicles or instruments or anything. Old pair of boots or something.
Lasted longer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's there's something about it. They smell different, you know. It's just like it's an experience. Maybe that's a placebo thing. I think, anyways, that music that was made, you know, up until the 70s, for me anyways, anything before that is just wonderful music. It's very rare to find anything kind of modern that has that same appeal. You know, there is stuff out there, but it borrows a lot from something that's already been done. I don't know, it's like there was something in the air in like the 60s and 70s and the 50s that, like, you know, Roy Orbison or who was I listening, you know, George Jones or something. It's just like you know, the voices in the songs are unreal, and no one is trying to do that now. I wish they would, but maybe it's just gone. I don't know.
So do you think like the 70s were the last great decade for rock, or do you think like
it was fading in the 70s? I think the 60s was the best decade for music ever. No matter what kind of music, jazz, rock, pop, anything, it was all like interesting. I don't know why that is. There was something happening in the 60s, and it got shut down really fast. Probably by the CIA, but we can get into that later. Something was happening in the world in the 60s for the better, and something didn't want it to be better, and then it just ended. And then the 70s happened, and Black Sabbath was a band in February of 1970, and then heavy metal was invented, and it got really dark really quick. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to ponder.
But it's good to be influenced by other stuff. Sure. I mean, it's almost like an ode that you do to a specific time, or it's not like you want to copy it. It's like, oh fuck, I love that so much. let's implement it in what you do or what we do.
Well, bands in the 60s were doing that too, or like old, you know, bluegrass music and country music. It was like learning old songs that were kind of handed down, and you would just learn the songs and maybe you do your own version of it. And it was just, you know, sharing music throughout history. So it's not really stealing, it's just kind of learning from the greats.
You grew up in, I guess, very different places, Canada, right? And Belgium, which I think have quite different cultures. Did you notice any differences in, you know, your musical upbringing, the way you experience or approach music?
It's just a totally different thing. Like music that is popular here or whatever is totally different than the Canadian stuff. It's like when I go to Canada, it's like cowboy music, which is great. Yeah, but also like things that you don't hear when you go to a pub here in Europe. It's like, you know what you're gonna hear, whereas in Canada it's like totally different.
But that's a cool thing about music too.
Yeah.
Is it like you have a culture of like old music and old songs that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And so do we, and so does America, and so does, I'm sure, every country. And it's like,
yeah,
you know, that's what's neat about music, is that it's like it really, everywhere is so different.
Yeah, when you were in Europe first for a long time, everyone was like, what the hell is all this weird music?
Yeah, what are these songs? What are they singing?
What are you singing? Why do you know all these weird songs? And it's like, well, it's just what we heard our whole lives. And then I totally realized that it's just totally different.
Yeah, but we have Shania Twain and Bryan Adams.
But we have them too.
Right, yeah.
They're universal goods at this point.
Yeah.
They're for everyone.
What's from Belgium that made it across the ocean? A dance tune or something from the 90s?
Oh, like Pump It Up. You got to pump it up.
Yeah. It's great.
Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
Were there things you discovered through each other, like from your respective culture?
What's that song that I really like by Gorky or something?
Oh yeah, it's a Belgian song. It's called Mia.
Last question. You just mentioned when we talked about like older music that it had like a purpose. It has a reason for being there. It had like a point to it. Like, what do you think is like the purpose of what you're doing, and what would you like to like people to take away from that?
People can take whatever they want away from it. It's out of our control. If you'd like it, cool. If you hate it, at least we got your attention. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I just like making music for the act of making it, like the process of writing and recording and creating a sound is the fun part.
And you really have to pay attention that you keep writing it for yourself, because as you like grow a little big, it's easy to fall for like, oh, what do other people like? But when you realize, or once you realize that you're doing that, it's time to like take a step back and be like, okay, what do we like? Because people always judge. If you make the same songs over and over, you're a boring band. But if you reinvent yourself, it's also not good because they miss the old sound. So it's never like fine for everyone.
Yeah,
so.
People are the worst. Monkeys are the worst. But I think we do it just for ourselves.
And if people like it, I mean, obviously it's super nice. It's like you want to play live, and it's nice when people come to a show and sing the lyrics or have a good time, or you can literally see them vibing to the songs. Or they come, you know, after a show, they come to you and they're like, oh, I had a lot on your music when I was like going through a hard time.
Well, I had a guy send me a message that said he was suicidal, and he was just like, I randomly heard one of your songs, and he was like, it helped me through it. And it's like, if that happens with people, I didn't mean for that to happen, but right on, you know?
Yeah.
That's great. But I mean, yeah, some people might maybe hear one of our songs and be like, I'm gonna go beat my dog up. So, you know, people will do what they want to do. But yeah, like same with the album title. It's like, hopefully it makes you wonder maybe what it's about. And that's good.
Everything is open for interpretation.
Or yeah, if you want to just throw it on while you're, you know, having a time with your wife or something, you know, maybe that's your thing. Maybe, you know, you like to garden to it, or yeah, it sounds best in the car. If you put it on in the car and you're driving down the road, that's the best.
Thank you so much for coming here, for sitting down to chat with us.
Thank you.
It was fun.
And we'll see you on tour again very soon.
November 12th.
Be there, guys, and thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.
Bye.